this group of men on the Raider team is excited about the upcoming season. And I haven't felt like I needed to re-recruit anybody. I haven't felt like I needed to call anybody other than what I normally do. I normally call guys and see how they're doing and see how this off-season's going thus far. I think our players are excited about what the future is here. Again, we were 6-0 in the AFC West. We know we need to play better outside the AFC West. We're going to build a bully here. This is the Raiders. We know exactly where we're heading and what we want to do. And I think our players today are very, very excited about where we're going.
Right.
When we had the year 2000, Randy Hansen incident, we had a turmoil in our coaching staff. Randy's jaw was broken. To this day, no one is sure how it was broken. We had a spouse accused the coach, the head coach, of personal public relations that were not good. And at that time, there were a lot of people in the Bay Area who wanted me to take action. Take action against the coach because supposedly he admitted he slapped his wife. And they wanted me to take action on the Randy Hansen matter. We issued a public release that we don't condone this type of action that's been going on. We intend to look into it, and we intend to do something about it if something is warranted to do something about it. And I made the point that there have been other people, coaches, and other positions who have left here, and I have gotten, but it's all right, trashed because they thought the other coaches were such good people. And we kept it quiet because of legalese and reasons we had to keep it quiet. And so no one ever came to the forefront, and those people are doing much better in professional football today because they got away with some other stuff. But we endured the public wrath. At the time, I decided that nothing would be done on cable. Nothing would be done until we found out about Randy Hansen. And then we received a letter this year. We received a letter this year in June. For the lawyer, for the woman who appeared last season on ESPN by the name of Klutz, K-L-U-T-Z. He included, with his letter, a copy of a lawsuit he was preparing on her behalf against Tom Cable and the Raiders. The allegations included the matters discussed in ESPN and other serious and related matters. That lawsuit created a tremendous amount of work, stress, and turmoil. Tom had been told early in his career that he could have been fired without pay for the wrath he brought on the Raider organization for supposedly accepting the treatment of women. The allegations that were made on the ESPN show, that is public, not new in any way, and invites several women. He did not fight the allegation that he hit his first wife. His second wife said he was physically and verbally abusive to her under penalty of perjury. And Mrs. Lutz, who was getting ready to file this complaint against the Raiders again, that when he hit her while he was the head coach. Now, in the contract for the head coach, specifically states that his actions are subject to the discretion of the general partner of the Raiders, and the general partner has the right to do all things necessary to guide what that coach is doing. Number two, the National Football League, part of the Constitution, says that the head coach has to keep the owner informed of any matters that would be of prejudice to the team, informed in a timely basis relative to past transgressions. I asked Tom Cable at least 3 or 4 different times, is there anything else that we have to deal with relative to the accusations made against you? I was never told about the 3 women. I knew about it from the ESPN show, but I never knew about what Miss Lutz put in her complaint this time, and they were going to sue the Raiders too. Randy Hansen is suing the Raiders. Miss Lutz was suing the Raiders. And it got to a point where our attorneys were spending a lot of time on these allegations against us. Now, one of the things revealed by Miss Lutz was too much for me. And that was, whether, I don't know if it's true, we're going to find out, but Tom was asked about it and refused to answer it. He brought her on trips on the road when the team was playing on the road. He's the head coach. And this is the guy who's talking about focus. We got a job to do. We got a game to play. We got to win. And they're flying in friends. So that they can be with them the night before the game. All this stuff goes a long way against my wishes, against my way of living, against my life, and against the Raider way. And I just wasn't going to take it anymore. And so our attorneys asked them to resolve all the cases against us, the Raiders. And until you do that, we're going to take money out of your check because we don't know what the final verdict will be against the Raiders in the lawsuit. And so that's why we took the $20,000, and we didn't do it till about 6 checks left. And look, there are a lot of things I can say, a lot of things I can't say based on legalese, but you make a judgment for yourself about what you think was going on in some of these complaints and what was going on for the head coach of the Raiders. We're not losers anymore. Yes. A little louder, please.
And let me give you the mic. Identify yourself.
Ann Killian with SportsIllustrated.com. If these complaints came forward in the spring and they were out there a lot, why wasn't there any earlier action taken to dismiss him?
Because we were, and I was waiting for a final result on the Hansen case. It could have gone to a court of law. I think it's going to the commissioner now on an arbitration. And the other case, no one sued us. But this potential lawsuit, we had gotten rid of the other lawsuit. This potential lawsuit was of great concern to my attorneys.
Phil Barber, Press Democrat. The report is that Tom is now suing to try to retrieve that $120,000. I'm wondering if you could confirm that, and also what was his reaction when you first started taking? Did he voice opposition earlier to the removal of that money?
He never, as far as I know, this went through the attorneys. The attorneys worked on it. He never voiced opposition. But what he did, found something that would stimulate all you people, as if I wounded him. He knew I could have thrown him out without any money for what he did to the Raiders with the initial stuff, with Hansen, with supposedly he admitted he hit his wife and things like that. And that's public record, so I can say it. But there are things I can't say because of the legalese about this. But there's no way that he can come clean on this. He knows what he did. I still don't know what your question is, Phil.
You sort of answered it accidentally. It was mainly what was his first reaction, not after his contract was
I don't know what his reaction was. I do know that he felt like he was wounded, but he knew what he was. Well, he knew what he was doing. He knew he should have let me know about all these things. He would never have been here the whole time, never. And I just didn't want to do anything with about 6 games to go. Because I thought we could make the playoffs. I thought we could. I thought we were primed. We messed up the Miami game. We messed up the Jacksonville game. And we were there. And unfortunately, that's always my goal.
Al, Lowell Cohn, Santa Rosa Press Democrat.
Yes.
What was your reaction when Tom Cable twice said, "We're not losers anymore"?
You're going to ask me a question after I tell you my reaction is. But I went back and checked it thoroughly. Tom Cable had been in in football 20 years. Had been with a winning team 3 years out of 20. I didn't like his statement. And some of you took it and used it, but I didn't like that statement. We're not losers anymore. If that's not being a loser in our world, I don't know what is, coming 500. That's never been my goal.
Scott Osler, Chronicle. When the ESPN report surfaced, the Raiders put out a release saying that there would be an investigation, the team would do an investigation, and we never really heard the upshot of that. Do you feel now that the investigation was not thorough enough, that it didn't uncover some of these things? Or
No, our investigation was thorough. Listen, Scott, maybe in your organization you can, but you can't make statements about these things. You can't make statements about, I can't talk to you about Jamarcus Russell in totality. You just can't make statements. And I don't know what you're talking about. We made an investigation. But here's Randy Hansen suing the head coach. At first he sued the head coach. Then he threw the Raiders into it. And that shut us up. And because then we're, if we say anything, we're held for you just can't make these statements. You go check it. Seriously, I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to listen to your attorneys. We checked it, yes. We did check it. And he was told on no uncertain terms that once more, and that's it.
one more thing. Why would the Raiders be liable in this lawsuit?
That's what I'd like to know, but what do you think? Because they want to settle it, and what they want is they feel that the money is with the Raiders, and we're not going to buckle to that. We're not going to settle a lawsuit for some woman that we don't even know.
Al, David White, with the Chronicle. To clarify, you said you settled the other lawsuit. Is that the Randy Hansen lawsuit?
No, I beg your pardon. I don't think I said we settled what lawsuit?
You said you settled the other. Were you speaking about
No,
another
the Randy
lawsuit?
Hansen lawsuit was not settled. It is before the commissioner. It's an arbitration. Randy lives in the Bay Area, and right now he's arbitrating. Whether he'll keep the Raiders in the arbitration, I don't think so. He got what he wanted. And but what I did say is that we were told that the lawsuit from Miss Lutz, the one who talked about being hit by him and things like that, was settled. What the ramifications of the settlement were, I don't know at this time. Just recently it was settled.
Tom settled that? Do you settle with her?
Oh, no.
Okay,
I
I just want to
I'm not
clarify.
settling with any.
Okay.
No.
I just want to clarify.
Where does the suit stand now? He doesn't
Jesus, here's another lawyer. Where did the suit stand? Vittorio, what you been listening? First, the Randy Hansen thing is in arbitration with the commissioner.
But that's the league. What about outside in the civil area?
One of the lawsuits, I am told, was settled. The Miss Lutz one was settled.
Al, obviously you've documented a series of accusations against Tom Cable, who was your head coach.
I didn't. I beg your
No,
pardon.
you've talked about, you've mentioned them.
What did you just say?
I said you've documented a series of allegations that were leveled against your head coach. I believe you
Just wait a minute. I didn't document it. I said ESPN documented it, and we just picked it up off of ESPN.
Okay, you documented that ESPN documented it.
What?
You have also, you mentioned that Jamarcus Russell had personal problems. Is there some issue this team is having with background checks that you have?
Yeah,
two
we're very bad at it. Yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Malika Bobino, sports editor for the Oakland Post. With all that centered around Tom Cable, were you apprehensive about bringing him back this season where many thought he should have
Yes,
left?
I thought he would be, I thought he had told me the truth, no problems, and that he would toe the mark because of these other problems that he was afraid might come to the forefront. And I was concerned how he would handle Hugh Jackson. Hugh is very polite and very nice. But, yeah, I was concerned about it, certainly. That was a big concern. Yeah?
I'd like to ask a follow-up question on the stadium, if I might, Al. Where do things stand now in terms of a possible negotiations with the 49ers about going in on a stadium, either here in Oakland or in Santa Clara? And what has the commissioner said to you about that, if anything?
The commissioner has said from time to time that he would like us to go in with them. And that's...
How do you feel about that?
Well, that isn't for today.
And so where do things stand in your mind?
Well, where they stand is where they stand. I said that isn't for today, Mark. Can't do the whole world today.
I could ask.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Osler again, Al, from the Chronicle. Can you clarify this? I could be totally wrong. It sounded like you said you kept Cable on towards the end of the season because you guys had a shot at the playoffs, even though you knew the stuff was going on, and you didn't see him in your future. You kept him on. What, to not upset the momentum of the team? I'm not clear on that.
Not upset. The whole we had been in turmoil for about a year or two after the initial stuff came out, and so I just didn't think we needed another uproar. at this particular time. Two roads. You can choose road H or choose road B, either way.
Al, you mentioned the Miami game. Were you upset that Tom switched quarterbacks from Bruce to Bruce for that game after Jason had played?
No, I was upset with the defense.
With the defense? Okay. And was that why John Marshall, was that in Jacksonville why John Marshall's not coming back?
No. The defense 2 years ago didn't play well enough for me, and it didn't play well enough last year. It played well enough in certain areas, but it, no, I think the year before was indicative of, if you take a look at it, we obviously made a switch with the defensive line coaches, and that should have been a sign to you that, well, maybe they weren't happy with what was going on over there on defense.
Al, Paul Gutierrez again from CSNBayArea.com. What was your initial reaction when you heard, obviously you knew that a lot of the players had Tom Cable's back, but when Shane Leckler went on TV and criticized the decision, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was 3 years ago, if you get out your newspaper, Shane said publicly he wasn't coming back. He didn't like it here. And then a month later, he was coming back because they gave him the highest paid contract of a specialist in pro football. No, these things happen. That's a part of our lives. I read it about marriage breakups, all those things.
Gwen Knapp, San Francisco Chronicle. I'm not quite clear about the time frame. You said you got the letter from the lawyer in June.
Yes.
And then with 6 weeks left in the season, you really felt that the lawsuits were pending, and so you wanted to extract some money from the paycheck as a result.
Well, wait one moment. You're going too fast for me, Gwen.
Okay, sorry.
Right.
I guess I'm wondering, at what point did you realize that you would, because of these lawsuits, you would not want Tom Cable back as your head coach, and what made you reach that decision at that point?
Well, really, to be honest to you, and I think I always am honest with you, I knew that it would be difficult to bring him back before that date because he had lied to me.
What point did you know that?
Well, I can't give you a point. It's I didn't know for sure about Hugh Jackson at that time because we had just brought him in. But the more I saw us progress on offense and those factors. But look, it wasn't there, Gwen. It wasn't a point because he had not done a good job. What was our record? 5-13? No, 5-11.
Yeah, Mr. Davis, Jerry McDonald from the Oakland Tribune again. He was diplomatic when he was asked about any differences he had with Coach Cable. You made a mention early on about he met some opposition from time to time. Can we infer from that there was some problems with the offense between the coordinator and the head coach?
Well, I don't think it's fair for me to say it if you doesn't think so, because he's the one who was the one doing the coordinating, not me. And so I'd let it go at that. I'm not looking for trouble, and neither is you, and neither are the Raiders. The idea is to be great, and we're going to go on and see if we can be.
Kim Coyle, CBS again. Mr. Davis, just wondering, you mentioned the stadium and how the stadium is a real priority to get into a new facility here in Oakland. Is that something that you're in charge of spearheading? And also wondering if your son Mark is kind of taking on a larger role with the organization.
I wish you'd ask him. No, I'm not spearheading that. They know how I feel. I've come out publicly and said that the best place for a site is the Oakland Coliseum. It really is, traffic-wise, the BART, all those amenities that go there. It's the best place. But if they can't get it done, you're going to have to use other avenues. You're going to have to do other things. And we need a new stadium. I mean, we're no different. Just like someone here brought up, all the being able to compete. I think it was Jerry McDonald, being able to compete with these new stadiums around the league. And if we're going to compete, we need a new stadium. And we're going to fight to get one. And we have to look at all options. And we want the Raider Nation. We want the fans out there. You got to support us. You got to help us. We need the fans. Someone, I think he said there are 22,000 fans. We're at the low ebb, or close to the low ebb, and we've got to do better. That's just the facts.
Mr. Davis, Lawrence Scott with NBC Bay Area Sports. We've talked so much about the...
Identify yourself again.
Lawrence Scott with NBC Bay Area.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. We've talked so much today about things that have nothing to do with on the field, all the off-the-field problems, lawsuits, that sort of thing.
No, I haven't. You asked me the question. We haven't talked about it.
Well, the discussion seems like it could be overwhelming. How do you move past it? How do you put this sort of thing behind the organization so that the focus is the field?
It's behind it. You're the people who asked the question. You're the one who put it out there again. No, we don't have to talk about it, but a lot of you wanted to hear about why I did it. And a lot of it was done for real reasons, right reasons.
I have a question for Hugh, if I could.
So Phil, identify yourself.
I'm sorry, Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. We've spent the last 10 or 15 minutes talking about controversies. That's not uncommon here. I'm wondering, as you listen to this conversation, is there any part of you that wonders what the heck you're getting into?
No, honestly not, because that is the past, and we're moving on. You know, the whole thing with me is the future, and the future's now, and that's what I want to. The message I want to give to our fans and to our players. I mean, this is about this coming season and us have an opportunity to go out and be great.
Well, Phil, does that mean you don't want to cover us because of the controversy?
I don't get to cover you enough as far as I'm concerned.
Cover the Raiders?
Mr. Davis, Jerry McDonald again. Last one, I promise. The last time that before there was a labor issue, you helped broker a deal essentially with Tagliabue and Gene Upshaw. Curious, with your knowledge of how things are going now and your heart of hearts, do you expect there to be a work stoppage?
I just would like to stay out of it at this time. I just would like to do that. I know Judge Doty up in Minnesota, because I had to go with him, with Gene, to help broker the deal. But I just like to stay out of it. We have a management council that's working on it. The commissioner is heading it up with Jeffrey Pash, and we'll see where we get, Jer. No one's asked me to come forward yet, and we'll see where we are.
Do you feel you have the kind of voice you had during the last round?
Well, I don't have Gene Upshaw. He was my captain for 15 years, and I drafted him #1 when everyone said we were crazy. We took him from Texas A&I, and he's gone now. By the way, we lost several great people this year. We lost Jack Tatum, just a truly great player who was a #1 draft choice. And, of course, we lost George Blanda, who was a close friend and just a great Raider, great player. And so we have to live with those things. And I say that those things at my age really take a toll out of me more than what we're talking about today. This is a happy day for me to bring someone in here who can get things going and get in the end zone. But when you lose friends like Blanda, Tatum, it's tough.
Just another follow-up question for Coach Jackson. One thing I noticed, and I think, Bruce McGowan, I'm sorry, Coach. One thing I noticed in camp was that there was a lot of camaraderie. You spoke about it earlier. It's part of your philosophy. You seem to get along well with young people. How important is that? Because obviously the bottom line is winning, but creating a comfort zone. Because I noticed it a lot more this year than I've seen in the last 7 years, where there was a real good feeling in that locker room.
I think it's very important because it's about team. This winning on Sunday is not just offense, defense, or just special teams. It's truly about team. It's team as a football staff, and it's team as our players. And we go out every Sunday as one team, the Raiders. And we go out to play, and we go out to win. I think it's very important.
Thank you.
And there you have it, a long press conference for the Raiders' new head coach, Hugh Jackson. It went a total of 1 hour and 38 minutes. I'm Henry.